Hi guys! Hello everyone and welcome back to another planty video. Hope you are all well. So I wanted to talk about wood and putting your plants on wood and like plants on planks and the benefits of it. I've completely done away with almost all of my moss poles. The only ones I've got left are the ones that are kind of so covered that you can't really replace them. There's not much point, or they're just there just for some sort of support. So I've completely converted over to plants on planks, and I just wanted to pop in here and tell you why. I will link down below in the description some of the videos I've got of me putting my plants on planks if you are interested in that. But today I just wanted to talk about the benefits of them and go a little bit into why I moved away from moss poles. So I moved away from moss poles because I just really didn't get on with them. I didn't like them at all. Mostly because moss poles you really need to keep moist, and I was really bad at that. They just dried out all the time and then the roots would dry out, and it just wasn't beneficial at all. They were just kind of there for climbing and whatnot. And obviously if it grows to a certain point and you let it dry out, the roots will then crisp up, dry out, and then it will start to mature. All of the maturing it's done will start to revert back to an immature state sometimes because of that. So why I moved over to wood was because I saw Caitlin from Plant Life in the Tropics, her videos, I'm sure everybody has seen them, and I was like, well, I hate moss poles too, I'm useless at them, like I'll try this out. They are zero maintenance because you don't need to keep them moist. You literally just need to attach the plant on there with some tape or something in the beginning, but once it gets going you don't even need to do that anymore. The aerial roots will find the wood itself and just keep going up. When you put plants on wood, they tend to mature a lot quicker, a lot faster, and like just a lot better in general. The leaves will get bigger, then we'll get more fenestrations, all that jazz, everything we want from our plants. And this is because in the wild, when they are in their jungle settings, they will be growing up trees. Their aerial roots will be sticking into the bark and the wood of the tree, and it will slowly grow up. And this is how they mature, by growing up things and really attaching those aerial roots in, which they can't really do with moss poles because it's kind of just growing through the moss. There's nothing to attach to, doesn't stabilize it properly because those aerial roots are there to support the whole plant, and as the plant gets bigger obviously you get more aerial roots. So you can use wooden planks like I do. I use just square pieces of wood and put them in the middle of my pot. Always make sure you treat the end of the wood that is in your substrate, otherwise it will start to rot after a few years. It's really important that you treat it. I just soak mine in wax and then plant it in. So far I've had no issues with it. I will put it in the middle of the pot like you would a moss pole. You can also use like a plank and lean it up against the wall and have it growing up like that. It's completely up to you, whatever works best for you. I just like to have mine in the substrate so the hot plank can grow around the whole thing. And it's just easier to move in my opinion. Some people don't mind moving the planks and the plants all in one, but I just prefer having it in, it's just easier for me. So the end goal really when you are giving your plant a plank to grow on is for it to mature and something for your plant to grow up. Obviously once it starts growing it will mature just naturally, but it is a support for your plant. The wood doesn't look the most appealing, I will give it that, but it will look really nice once your plant is covering it, because you're not going to see the wood after. A lot of mine that are on planks I have in the spare room, so nobody will see them, and obviously once they have covered the whole wood and they look really beautiful, I will then bring them out into like my communal areas. But for now, I leave mine in the spare room once they're growing up the wood, and that's fine. I will insert some footage of mine now. So as you can see with my Monstera adansonii, he's doing really well. The leaves are getting slightly bigger, not much, but I have noticed that the fenestrations and the holes in the leaves are getting bigger, which is great. That's a sign of maturing, and I think once the next couple of leaves start coming out, the leaves will start getting a lot bigger as well, which I can't wait for. The roots are really starting to attach on now, and once they have started to attach on, they will just keep growing. I've seen they don't stop, they'll just try and grasp onto anything just to try and get that support. So with this plant now, I've not had to attach the top leaves on because it's really starting to attach itself. It's finding that wood without me having to tape it up against it, which is amazing. So my Monstera albo is doing really well. Those roots are really trying to attach on. I need to try and train the stem over to the middle again because it is starting to go towards the end, and obviously it's not gonna attach on as well. This plant for me is a bit of a slow grower. It is a cutting, so I feel like that's why it's not quite established its root system yet, but I feel like next summer it's really going to take off. My neon pothos. I know that pothos do really, really well on wood. They really start maturing really quickly, which I can't wait for. It is winter here now, and autumn, and they have started to slow down their growth, I've noticed. But those aerial roots are really starting to get attached on, and I can't wait to see it all mature. I feel like this one's going to look beautiful when those leaves get really nice and big and mature. It's going to look gorgeous. My Micans is doing really well on wood. I feel like Micans do really well climbing. They're really fast growers and they just want to climb everywhere. So this guy is doing really well. As soon as it started getting cold, I started to struggle this plant a little bit. Autumn hit and it did have some struggles, so I've lost some leaves in the bottom, which is fine. I'm just probably gonna prop once it gets to the top of the wood and then plant it back into the soil and then have some more growing up the wood. But this one's doing really well. It's really starting to attach its aerial roots onto the wood, which is really exciting. And the leaves on the top where it was starting to be attached look so much healthier and happier. They are starting to get slightly bigger, but I feel like soon they're gonna start to really, really push out some really big leaves. Okay, so that's all of the ones on wood I'm going to show you today. I'm really excited about them. I really hope that they keep growing over winter. I mean, in the UK, it's so cold. My plants always really slow down their growth, which is really annoying. But it's fine. As soon as it gets into spring again, they will start to grow loads, and hopefully by the end of summer, they'll all be at the top of their planks, which I can't wait for. And I would really love to extend them so they'll start to mature even more. But it would have taken me so long to get them to the top of that wood and cover the wood. So I feel like I want to just enjoy them being as beautiful as they are without loads of wood hanging out. So I'll probably leave them for a while. I think that is all for this video. I mean, it's really simple. There's not much to having wood on. There's not much to having your plants on wood. It's so easy, so simple to care for. There's not really much care tips because they're just so easy, and that's one of the reasons why I love them. They're so easy to look after. You don't really have to do any maintenance. As soon as they've started going, they will just carry themselves on and they're fine. You don't have to worry about them, you just leave them to it, which I love. You don't have to keep them moist. I've never sprayed mine down, nothing like that, and they all just love it. So I think that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you find this really helpful. I know there's not much to this video, but obviously it is because they are just so easy. I'd 100% recommend even just experimenting on your own. If you're not sure about it, just get a smaller piece of wood at first and just experiment with like a single leaf cutting, see how that goes. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you want to see more planty content from me. I also have a planty Instagram, Ambient Studio, if you want to see more planty content. On there I show more updates and more general planty things as well. And I will see you all in the next video. Thanks guys, bye!